much. I think this is everything that we're gonna need to make the chili. So I have specific things that I highly recommend as far as what I like to put in my chili. And then as far as like what beans and things like that you really like, that part's kind of up to you. And, you know, insofar as like, I don't like chickpeas, I don't want to put those in, or like garbanzo beans, I don't want to put those in. Like, you don't have to. Excuse me. I'm not dabbing, I'm just sneezing. But a couple things that I put in my chili that are kind of like things that I feel like make it stuff that I really love is I always like to put corn in my chili. I put a little can of corn, like sweet corn in there. And I think that tastes really good because I feel like it gives almost like the cornbread is like in the chili kind of vibe because it gives it like that flavor. Another thing that I absolutely always put in my chili, and it is my favorite thing, is a can of hominy. I absolutely love hominy. It's basically corn that's a potato. That is what it tastes like. It tastes like little bits of like potato, but it's just corn. If you have not had hominy, or if you've ever had pozole, the little like yummy bits that kind of taste like potato in pozole, that's hominy. So I always like to put that in my chili. And then I usually just do a ton of different beans, you know, for extra protein and delicious. So I always put garbanzo beans in, I'll put black beans in, sometimes I'll put kidney beans, pinto beans. You could put like Great Northern beans, you could put white beans in if you wanted to. Like, you can, the world's your oyster. I usually also always do ground beef in my chili, but if you want to do pork in your chili, if you want to do chicken in your chili, and do like a chicken chili, you could do that too. So there's plenty of ways that you can change and adapt and make this your own. Toppings, how you serve it, all up to you. But this is how we're gonna do this. So to start, I've got a little olive oil, and we're gonna put some olive oil in the pan. Oh jeez. Just like enough to coat the bottom, I would say, or pretty close. Maybe like a couple, I don't know, tablespoons. So it, you know, just kind of coats the bottom of the pan. I'm actually gonna turn. Ooh, did that give it a little more light? Oh, it did! Oh, that's nice. Okay, perfect. Olive oil. Hi, Landon! Yes, so we put a little olive oil in the bottom of the pan. Sometimes if I have it, I'll put in some like fresh chopped onion or some garlic. But I also wanted to make this recipe as accessible and easy as possible. So I'm just gonna be going solely with canned stuff and like dry spices. But honestly, I've had it both ways, doing the fresh and dry, or just fresh or just dry and whatever. And I feel like truly it doesn't make a huge difference on the final taste. So do with that information what you will. Spice it how you want to spice it. Make it how you want to make it. But general guidelines. So I'm gonna turn this on. This is my finicky burner. There we go. Just lighting things on fire right away. Okay. And we're gonna open up our package of ground beef. And we'll get beef in there. And we washed our hands. Oh yeah, always gotta keep that motherfucking thing on me. You know what I mean? These are my adorable, of course I found black and white, like Valentine's Day towels, but they just ended up coming out early. So they're here. Alright, cool. It's starting to make noises. Break this up in the bottom of the pan. Because I want to make sure that the mince is really small and kind of broken up so it really permeates throughout the chili, and you don't just get like big chunks of the ground beef in here and then like you eat it all in the big chunks and it's gone. So I like to really make sure I break it up in the bottom of the pan as it's cooking up. And really the chili comes together so fast because once the meat is kind of, you know, more or less broken down, maybe browned a little bit, like that's really the only thing that needs to be like fully cooked, you know? I have my spoon rest. It says Thackeray Binks, and it says I'm a cat person on it. Thank you. I think TJ Maxx or Home Goods, my mom saw it and was like, sent me a picture. It's like, do you want this? I was like, yes, I want that. Are you kidding me? It's Binks. It's my cat. Of course I want it. Cheers, everyone. It's nice to have you in my kitchen. It's kind of fun. Okay, so while this is browning, you're gonna want to get your handy dandy can opener, and you're just gonna want to start popping open all these cans. This is the most labor intensive part of the recipe. It's just waiting for the meat to brown and opening all these cans. So gonna get a great workout opening all the cans. Another thing I do when I'm buying my beans, or at least I try to do depending on where I go and what's available, is I try to get everything with like no salt or low salt, because I really like to be able to control on my own like the seasoning and the salt level of things. But I mean, that's just a personal preference, but that's usually what I do. All the beans and the hominy will need to be, in some cases, drained, and in some cases, drained and rinsed. I'm gonna move this around really quick. I turned down the heat. The heat's on like medium right now because I'm trying to do these cans and time this all right. But if you wanted to, you could just open the cans all before, and then you're pretty good. You don't have to like worry about kind of going back and forth at all. Now, my chili, I really like it to be packed full of stuff. Like, it's kind of more like a stew and a soup in one. So I like a big, thick, chunky chili. I don't want to be like basically having tomato soup that has an occasional thing in it. You know what I mean? Like, I want it to have stuff going on. Easy, peasy, quick, and depending on, you know, how many people you're trying to feed, whatever, like, it makes up quick, and you can easily make like big batches of it, which is really nice. So I'm gonna get my colander so I can pour all the beans in there and rinse them. And recycle your cans. Rinse them out, recycle them. And all of these are the standard like 15-ounce cans, or if we're not using, I don't know, America measurement, it's 425 grams. So like 4 of these cans, 1 of black beans, I have 1 of garbanzo beans, 1 of pinto beans, and 1 of kidney beans for this recipe. So we're gonna rinse all the beans, get any extra salt and any extra of the liquid that they were packed in off. And then I'm just gonna keep them over here for a second. Alright. Check on the meat here. They're looking pretty good. I'm just gonna break it up a little bit more. I'm gonna turn up the heat slightly. And I feel like it'll also continue to kind of break up as we, you know, stir it and everything, but I at least like to get it fairly broken up here. Okay. I'm gonna show you guys real quick. You see? So it's all kind of broken up small in there. So now, let's see, I'm gonna pour in the beans. These are all 4 cans of the beans gonna go in. And they are drained and rinsed. Easy peasy. Then we're gonna put in the 2 28-ounce or 749 gram cans of crushed tomatoes. So you put in 2 big cans of crushed tomatoes. And then I'm gonna put these aside really quick. So then those 2 cans go in. All right. Yum. Okay, I'm gonna mix this all up. Come here. Okay. Get that all mixed up. Yeah, that's what we're looking for. Okay. Now, depending on your preference for consistency, and this is pretty much like looking pretty good. However, I still haven't even added in the hominy and the sweet corn yet. So I think I'm gonna add a little bit, and again, this is up to you. You can rinse these cans out with a little bit of water, or I have a little bit of chicken bone broth that I have open. So I'm gonna pour a little bit in these cans and rinse out the last little bit of the tomato, and just get a little broth in there to kind of thin it out. But again, you could use like a beef broth if you're putting in beef, you know, when you want to use that, or just water works totally fine too. But I'm just using what I have. So I'm going to use a little bit of this bone broth that I have in here. Kind of swirl this around in the can. I may use the little spoon to kind of scrape all the tomato-y goodness into that liquid. Okay, that looks pretty good. And I'm gonna do a little bit more in the other can. And again, how much you add in is kind of based on how thick you want the chili, and you know, or you know, if it seems to be reducing down, you can always add additional liquid or broth later too. But that's usually what I do. So see, yeah, that looks a little better consistency. I'm also gonna rinse these cans so they can be recycled. To the recycle they go. There we go. Now I have to add in the last 2 things. I'm gonna keep this the broth over here in case I want to thin this out at all anymore. But we're going to drain the liquid from this can of corn really quick. Again, same thing, another 15 ounce or 245 gram can of just sweet corn. That's what I have. And I'll probably go back in the Discord and write it out too, so you guys can have this. And then, last but not least, drain the hominy. I'm gonna give this a little rinse too, I think. And then this can of the hominy is a 25 ounce can. 25 ounce can or 709 grams. So that's gonna go in. Here we go. Oh my god, one of them went somewhere. Okay. Where did it go? I think it's this. Just flew out of the can. Oh my god. So now, mix all that in till it is incorporated. So as you can see, this does not make a little amount of chili. This makes a big pot. But trust me, I can and will and have eaten this like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's one of my favorites. It's also super great if you want to have people over and you need something that makes up really quickly, because pretty much once you add in all the seasonings and you let it kind of, you know, because the meat is the only thing that was like raw that needed to be cooked. Once this all kind of comes to temp and you've seasoned it and it, you know, seems like it's going good, then it's pretty much ready to serve. So now it's just your seasonings. So I'm gonna pull out all of the necessary, usual, lovely suspects for what I put in my chili. If you think I'm grabbing a lot, that's why this chili is so good. It needs seasoning. It needs it. If you're not seasoning your food, I don't want it. I'm sorry. We're not having no unseasoned, bland, anything in this house. It's not frickin' happening. Oh yeah, I need this too. Need all of it. It's all necessary. That should be everything. Except we do need one more thing from the fridge. One more thing. You gotta have Cholula in it, otherwise it ain't right. I will die on that hill. Like I said too, I usually always try and grab the cans that are no salt added because I like to control how much, you know, salt is going in. So if I put a good amount of salt in here and you're like, whoa, that's crazy. Like, nothing had salt in here. Like, the beans are not salted, like the tomatoes don't have any salt, and like canned tomatoes, like they're like when you're cooking potatoes. Like, they are so bland, they have nothing. They need a lot of salt to bring out their flavor. So, this is where, this is kind of just my magical power of being able to just dump stuff in and somehow know if it's the right amount or not. So this is where it gets a little tricky because I kind of just dump. So, stay with me. This is my little pinch pot of salt. If it looks different, it's because it's the pink. It's like the pink Himalayan sea salt. Cooking with Izzy, yes it is. So we're gonna add some salt. Whoop. That's probably good. I'm putting in some cayenne pepper. This is also a big pot, so, you know, it needs a lot. We're gonna put in a couple little bay leaves, which we will fish out later, because you don't want to eat those. They are bitter if you eat them. Some cumin. I love cumin in my chili. We're gonna do some chili powder. Like that. Yeah. Then we're gonna do some onion powder. Almost done with this jar, which I think I have some more, so I will refill this thing. Some garlic powder. Right. We want a little bit of oregano, I think. Just a little. Not that much. Just a little. I think the oregano with the bay leaf just tastes really good. I also put in a little bit of paprika. Like that. Just a little bit. For color. And then I also have this really good, I got it a while ago at Costco. It's their organic taco seasoning. So I also put some taco seasoning, which I think has a lot of the things that I already put in it. But it just is good. It's just right. Yeah. Yeah, this has like sea salt, organic tomato, organic paprika for color. Organic sugar, red pepper, garlic, onion, cornstarch, citric acid. It's got all the good stuffs. Gives it what it needs, you know? So then once all of that is in, I'm gonna put all of my things back here. We're also gonna put Cholula and be freaking generous. It's a big pot, all right? All right. That was a lot, but trust me, it's gonna work, all right? I've made this chili I don't know how many times. I know it like by heart at this point. Okay, scraping some of the tomato that's gone up the sides of the pan. Okay, and then make sure you really give it a good stir so all of those spices get well incorporated into the chili. You don't want to just hit a pocket of all of the spices. That would be a little bit crazy. And then I'm just gonna let it kind of simmer and hang out for a little bit. It's pretty much ready now, like you could call it, but I want that bay leaf and the spices and everything to just have a minute to kind of percolate, think about what they want to do to mingle with their new friends. We're gonna get a little clean spoon. We're gonna get a bite and see. Always taste with the seasonings. Yep, that's right. Mm-hmm. God damn, I'm good. Nailed it. I am the confident chef that puts all the spices away and then tastes it. Because I already know, because I've made this so many times. That is correct. That was right. So whatever you saw me add in, that much of all the stuff. I kind of went a little crazy because I just, like, my spice cabinet, you can't really see it because it's kind of off camera, but like it's, jars are on top of each other. Like my spice cabinet is stocked. Because I'm not coming here to have bland ass food. And I'm not gonna be serving my friends and family and loved ones bland ass food. We don't do that here in this house. Mm-mm. Not in my house. Cholula mi amor, si. Si way. Cholula, I feel like is my favorite. I feel like it has like the most good flavor. Like that or like Valentina is another one I really like. I feel like especially for this, the Cholula is the right choice. Or I could see Valentina, but sometimes like the Tapatio or the Tabasco airs too vinegary. And I feel like with the acidity of the tomatoes, it would make the chili a little too, I don't know, like sharp, acidic. It would just taste, it would be off. Now, for plating, I usually plate my chili with a little bit of cheese. Unfortunately, when I went to the grocery store, the only cheese that they had of the cheddar were the huge blocks, and I am one person. And like, I've put a massive dent in a block of cheese before, but like, I just didn't want to buy the one that was too big and have it go bad. So I know I've committed a cardinal sin, and I did not shred my own cheese for this, but I rather buy smaller so it doesn't go bad than buy too much and have it go bad, because then I feel awful. So this was all I could get. Okay, I'm gonna turn this off for right now. Just let the residual heat go. Give this an extra little stir. I also like to put some sour cream on my chili, but unfortunately, the rack that had the sour cream on it, I went to go grab 2 containers because I needed 1 container because I was making some stuff for Christmas, and then I needed another container to use for like potatoes and to top this. They decided to put cottage cheese that is in almost an identical container right next to the sour cream, so I bought 1 container of sour cream that I used. I went to go open the other one, and it was cottage cheese. So, I was sad. So I don't have sour cream, but I usually like to put a little bit of sour cream, a little bit of sharp cheddar, because that's my favorite, or like the little Mexican cheese shred blend. That's also another option that I love. And I also put Cholula. Another thing that I like to do when I serve and or eat this chili, because it is beautiful and nice and thick like this, is I like to eat it with tortilla chips. So sometimes I will purposely maybe undersalt this just slightly because there's salt on the tortilla chips, and I don't want the salt from the tortilla chips and then the chili to be like too salty. So I always feel like I will maybe salt it under like just shy of where it should be. And then if people want to add more salt, or like if I'm adding, you know, the cheese, or I'm adding Cholula to it, like it's gonna add more of a salty component. So it all comes out in the wash. It all balances out. So I'm gonna get a little bowl and I'm gonna scoop up some chili. But yeah, I'm gonna leave the bay leaves in for now so they can kind of continue to impart their flavor into this for a little bit longer. All right, we're adding a little bit of cheddar cheese. Then we're also gonna add a little bit more Cholula on top. Ba-bam. Get my little chippy in here. Oh my god. Bad angle. Okay, hang on. Hang on. We're gonna get all the yummies on here. Oh my god, look at that. Oh my god, she's stunning.